You probably know a couple that seems to have been together for as long as you can remember. Others, on the other hand, break up. A common reason for breakups is that one person or both change. But does this mean that we have to avoid changing for the sake of our relationship? Some people actually do this as a strategy. Once they've met someone, they more or less stay the same for the rest of their lives so that they can protect the relationship. But what about all of the benefits from personal growth and positive change? How can we maintain a relationship for years and decades and still grow and change on our own? The answer to this question is complex and obviously can't be answered in a 10-minute video in its entirety, but I'd like to introduce one important thing that plays a role in this dynamic to you, and that is self-concept clarity. Self-concept clarity is a characteristic that describes how well someone knows themselves. What do I like? What am I like? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my values? What are my goals? What are my opinions on important matters? People with high self-concept clarity have answers to these questions, and these answers are in harmony with each other. People with low self-concept clarity have a difficulty answering these questions. They spend more time wondering about who they are, and if you'd ask them to tell you something about themselves, they feel like they'd have a hard time doing that. Self-concept clarity is different from self-esteem in that self-esteem addresses how we evaluate ourselves, and self-concept clarity deals with how well we know ourselves. And research has found interesting associations between self-concept clarity and other psychological attributes. People with a high self-concept clarity have healthier coping strategies. They have less depression and anxiety and perceived stress, and they have a higher self-esteem. Let's get to the part about what self-concept clarity can do for relationships. A fairly recent study found that people who have a higher self-concept clarity, that means they are more aware of who they are as an individual, were better at supporting a change in their significant other. And this made both of them feel better about the quality of their relationship. That means whenever the significant other of this study participant changed something during the course of the study about their personality, interests, goals, or career path, the participant of the study was more supportive of this change. And not because they were less mean, but because they were more aware of who they are as an individual. There's two things we can take away from this study. One aspect is what these participants actually did to express their support. And the other thing is strengthening our self-concept clarity. Let's look at these two things. So what did the people who supported their partner's change in this study do more of? Firstly, they showed more mental support. That means they were aware of the change and started thinking of their partner as someone aspiring for this change. For example, if their partner wanted to become a musician or artist, they would start thinking of their partner as an aspiring musician or artist. They also offered more support by their actions, meaning that they maybe took on more chores so that their partner had more time to pursue their new interest or change. They visibly demonstrated their support by maybe if their partner wanted to learn how to cook, they would visibly enjoy a meal their partner just prepared. Or if the partner was learning to draw, they would hang up a piece of art that their partner produced on the wall, or they may have bought their partner a tool that they needed to develop their skill, like cooking utensils or art brushes. And lastly, they also offered more support by their words. They said things like, I can really see how much energy you've already invested into this, and you've made so much progress. Keep going, you've got this. And there were also things that these supportive participants did less of. They showed less mental resistance to the change by not being unaware of the change. They showed less resistance in their behavior. This would be, for example, if the partner cleared up a space in the living room for their interest, the study participants wouldn't clutter that space again and in that way undermine the endeavors of their significant other. And also they showed less naysaying, less undermining by words. Things like, I don't see the point in all this. I don't want you to go to that class, etc. So those are some things that we can do and avoid doing to support our partner's change. The second thing that we can take away from this study that we can directly influence to improve our relationship is our self-concept clarity. Being clear about who we are as a person makes it easier for us to support a partner's change, because we will feel less unsure about what the change of our partner is going to do to us. People with the lower self-concept clarity are already unsure about who they are as an individual, and then their partner's change will make them even more insecure. They don't want to risk being confused further by their partner's change. And in this study, people with a lower self-concept clarity also felt more pressured to follow in their partner's footsteps concerning this change. I find this really interesting because usually we assume that someone is against a change in their significant other because they don't want the person to change. But a totally different reason can be that they don't want to be confused about themselves by the partner's change. They might even think that the change is beneficial for their partner, but still be against it, still be unsupportive of it, to not become confused in their already confused self-concept. Let's get down to business. What can we do to strengthen our self-concept clarity? Research is still looking into this, and here are some things that we already know. One thing that strengthens your self-concept clarity is confirming a belief that you have about yourself. For example, if you believe that you're interested in history, and then you feel alive when you go to a history museum, this experience will strengthen your self-concept clarity. So what you can do is actively seek situations and experiences that make you think about who you are, that allow you to test your beliefs about yourself, and in this way gain knowledge about who you are. To be able to explore like this, it may be necessary to overcome some fears. Research shows that anxiety can undermine self-concept clarity, probably because it inhibits exploring like this. What is also helpful is to be honest about who you are to others. A study found that open communication between parents and kids strengthens the self-concept clarity in kids, meaning that they're able to express all of their true feelings in front of their parents. So being honest about who you are strengthens your self-concept clarity, most likely because if you're always lying about who you are and portraying some false image, it's easy to become confused about who you are. And if you're honest, then it's pretty straightforward. Another thing that helps is getting support from people who share your beliefs about yourself. So talking with someone who knows you well and has a similar picture of you to what you believe about yourself. And another thing you can do is to commit to something. Research shows that this strengthens self-concept clarity. Committing to a relationship or an interest, sticking with it, investing energy into it, this will make your self-concept clarity stronger. And last but not least, reflecting on something that is very important to you increases self-concept clarity. It's likely that there are other ways to strengthen your self-concept clarity, but here it was important to me to share only what research has confirmed. You can, though, be creative and try what works for you, what helps you become clearer about who you are. And maybe you've gained some self-concept clarity during the course of this video by discovering that you find the content of this channel helpful. And maybe you'd like to add the trait of being a subscriber to this channel to your self-concept. Then hit the subscribe button. I look forward to being in contact with you again soon. Take care and goodbye.